right. Dawna, I am ecstatic to be talking to you because I've known you for quite a while now, and this is the first time we're actually doing an interview with some of the highlights of your career, and I'm really stoked because I've seen a bunch of your films and I really loved like seeing you on screen. You're such a great actress.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot to me because you're my favorite reviewer.
Uh, well, you're
And for a while.
that's awesome. So, first question is, how did you get bit by the acting bug? Where did it all start?
Well, I've always enjoyed performing. I was always a cheerleader during school and I've taken ballet my whole life. Um, I think I got started in pageants at when I was 18, and I've been in over 100 pageants, and I won or placed in all of them because once you start doing something, you get good at it. And I'm a very obsessive person, so I started out doing these pageants while going to school. It's like every weekend I had a pageant, and my uncle is Tak Fujimoto. He was the DP on Silence of the Lambs, Philadelphia, Sixth Sense, and he's like a legend in the field.
Oh yeah.
And so I've always known about the film industry, but when I won Miss San Francisco Universe, there was a scout. I was going to UC Berkeley, and I took a film class up there too, but I was actually taking chemistry. Um, there was a film scout there, and I got the role. I got a role as Miss Hawaii on what was it on The Young and the Restless.
Okay.
So then I got bit by the acting bug, and I started. I've been to every college in Orange County. I should say that. I mean, I got my bachelor's and my MBA from Pepperdine University. But before that, I got an AA in chemistry from Cypress College. And then I got an AA in dramatic art from Fullerton College. And my teacher there was Sal Romeo,
Mhm.
and he was incredible. And I became part of his Friends and Artists Theater Company for a while. So,
Wow. I mean,
yeah, and that was
that's
the Stanislavski method. So, I mean, it was, I'm trained in acting.
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you can obviously tell from some of the movies you've been in, like you have this natural ability to to let out any emotions, and you can go from scared 1 minute to tough next, and I've seen some of yours, and even comedic. You've done some comedic stuff as well, and I don't know, it just seems like when it comes to indie films, you're like, I think you're like a legend at this point because you've been in
Oh,
so many
thank
things.
you.
That's my opinion. 'Cause I like you've done so many fun roles, and I know one of my favorites was you were Satan's minion in Bad President. You're one of the minions, and, when I saw that,
You for that film too. And I have to thank Robert Amico for that role. But that film, it was so fun to shoot. It was directed by Param Gill, and it had such great production value, obviously because Eddie Griffin was the star. We spent like a week in Las Vegas, and it was just incredible. Eddie took us to his show, and just watching him, I mean, I'm so grateful to Robert for getting me that role because all of our scenes were with Eddie. And so he would be like, doing a routine or something. And then as soon as the camera started, he would be on it. And his eyes, there's something about stars. They have this extra quality where you can't take your eyes off of them when they're on screen.
right?
And he just has that quality.
Yeah, and you did too. And I saw you in Paradise Motel because that, since you were the central role and you played this, abused housewife, and you meet all these eccentric characters, and it's like the fish out of water story. it's like I couldn't take my eyes off you because you were the central role and you really made the most of that movie. And that movie had some quirky scenes in it, but that didn't take anything away from it. Like overall, like when it all came out, it just came out really well.
Oh, I'll have to tell Walt. Well, I'm hoping to show this interview to everybody, but that will make Walter really, really happy. Um, it was, I'm a really positive person and I love having fun on the set. There was, I'm not going to go into it, but there was a little bit of conflict on that set with with one of the producers, and it was conflict for everybody. So it was kind of a tough atmosphere to negotiate in.
Mhm.
But after the first day, I just decided I'm an actress, it's my part, and I'm going to do what I think I should do with it. And I've won some Best Actress awards for it. Um, it was Walter's first movie, and so I don't think and he's such a nice man. I don't think he wanted to rein in this person who was, wrecking everyone's performance, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. But I am so glad that I stood up for myself and I did what I thought should be done in that case in for my role.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories of, how people get treated on sets and, you know, producers think they know it all and, but, let's just face it, if you're there to do the job, you're gonna be there to do the job and you're gonna give it 100%. And, you know,
Yeah, well, it is a job. And the first thing that I tell people if they ask me what it takes to succeed in Hollywood is to get trained in your craft. I mean, there's so much competition out there that if you don't know how to act, you're not going to make it. I mean, I've been trained by Sal in the Stanislavski method. Um, I'm currently training with Matthew Arkin at South Coast Rep, and it's a theater company, so it's the Udo Hagen method. But essentially, you have to become that character.
right.
So it's not all about, well, it's a lot about when you get to the bigger leagues, it's a lot about wardrobe and all of that stuff. But the main thing is you have to build the backstory of your character and you have to become that character. And in the beginning of the Paradise Motel, I was being told so many wrong things on purpose that, that the first day was tough. But, it taught me to stick up for myself for the good of the film. And Walter is also planning a sequel called Next Stop Hell's End. And the script is fantastic, even better than the Paradise Motel.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really excited about that. I think we're going to do it next fall. But one thing that happened is that I have I have wanted to work with Tom Sizemore for a long, long time, and he's such a nice man. He's called me quite a few times.
Yeah.
He was supposed to play my husband in PTSD, and then he got COVID. So Tom Anderson played my husband, and I'm really glad because I'm good friends with Tom now, and he's a screenwriter, and he's one of my really good friends. But there was a role in Next Top Hell's End that was perfect for Tom, and he's agreed to do the film. But I don't know if you heard, but he had
Yeah. Yeah, I did. And I will say this, if his family's listening, we are praying for him. We hope that,
oh, I'm praying so hard because he's such a nice man, such a great actor, and I'm just praying for him.
yeah. Well, the first movie I saw you in actually was Finding Purpose: The Road to Redemption. That was the first movie I ever saw you in. And I thought you were, as soon as I saw you, I'm like, holy cow, who is this actress? She's like really good. And so I'm like, like, because you brought this emotional range to your character in that film, because, of course, the main character is having this terminal illness, and he's now
Mhm.
going on this road trip, and you just like brought out the best in that character, not just your character, but his character, the main character as well, towards as the movie goes on. So that's the first movie I ever saw you in, and I'm like, holy cow, who is this actress playing, the
Oh,
girlfriend of the wife? Because I was like, holy shoot, she's really good.
oh, thank you for mentioning that because that is one of my favorite films I've done. Um, John Rain is an incredible actor. And my scenes with him, you have to work with really good people to get the best reaction. And working with him was fantastic. He wrote the role for me because I had been in the prequel, Finding Purpose.
Mhm.
And I love that film. And it actually won a, a film award, and I think it's a great film, and that's another example of circumstances causing um, causing the film not to be seen when it should be seen. Um, a lot. I'm not going to go into it either, but a lot of things. We filmed it in Pennsylvania, and a lot of things happened on the next film that I worked with John on. And let's just suffice to say that I was hoping the film would get really wide distribution because my mentor, Akia Leon, played my father. I mean, and I think it's a great film. And obviously, the film festival thought it was too. But so many things happened that it hasn't gotten distribution, and not and I want way more people to be able to see it. It's on Amazon Prime and it's called Finding Purpose: Road to Redemption. And I am so proud of that film and I hope people will go to it. And another thing that happened with Bad President, I thought that was going to be my big break.
Mhm.
And it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival because Eddie Griffin is great and Jeff Rector was amazing as
I
Joel.
I absolutely love Jeff Rector. I mean, I remember seeing him in the movie Street Soldiers as the main villain, and he was so like over the top, but in such a great way. And then seeing him as himself in the martial arts kid, and then here he is playing the most hysterical version of President Trump I've ever seen. I was like, I every time I saw him, I kept like laughing so hard I almost started crying because he was
But
that.
he had really high hopes for that film too, because it premiered at Cannes and it was supposed to go into AMC theaters. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah,
So I think Param just kind of gave gave up on putting the film into theaters. It's streaming, and I hope people will go and watch that film too.
yeah, I did. I
But
think it's on Tubi TV because I think that's where I saw it at one point.
okay.
So if it's on there, people should see it. And it's just a hysterical movie. I mean, this is one of those indie comedies that are like that's so underrated that it just has to be seen.
Well, um, Bad President and Finding Purpose: Road to Redemption, I think, are two of my favorite films. Another one is Garden Party Massacre with Gregory Blair, because that film is just so funny. I mean, Gregory's so talented. So, but I think a lot of people have seen Garden Party Massacre because Gregory's a genius at marketing as well
Yeah.
as acting, and everything else. So I think that's been widely seen, but the other two I don't think have been,
Yeah.
which is sad.
And I've seen you in some of Dustin Ferguson, aka Dark Infinity's films that thanks to them, Tales of the Campfire 3 was a great one that you did. Um I loved your story in that, and then you had a cameo pretty much in Rattlers 2. And I
Yeah,
I'm
time,
That one I found laughable. It wasn't you, it was the actor playing your son. Because when he gets attacked by the snake, it was his reaction.
Sean Phillips.
Yeah,
You know?
the way he reacted when the snake attacks him, I was like actually laughing more. I'm like, oh my gosh! But I think that's what makes a good film. If I mean a good like horror comedy, if you can laugh when someone's getting killed, like and then they're reacting the way they did it, and if you're laughing, I think it's good. It makes for good in a way good indie horror comedy. So I think it worked in this case.
Well, actually, Destin has been really good to me. I did a film called Robo Woman years ago, and it was my first action lead. No, actually, I did a film called Nemesis 5, and I did a scene that is still one of my favorites. It was my first action scene, and I hope people will go and watch that film. That was quite a few years ago. And Albert Pune, who's since passed away, he was the
Yeah.
executive producer on it.
Oh wow.
So um, I loved that film. And then after that, I did a film called Robo Woman with Dustin. And Dustin knows this. I'm going to be perfectly honest. When the film came out, it was kind of dark, and so I was a little disappointed, but now it's kind of a cult classic. I mean, it's the film that people um, write to me most about, So I'm very thankful to Dustin, and I just did a film with him called Cobra Strike Force, and I
Oh,
just ordered the DVD. I love my character in it. I play a character called the Queen, and it's with Jan Burge and Eric Anthony Russo and Rocky LaMarco and Sue Price. So, and it's just a great film. I mean, I loved uh, I loved the script. I loved doing it, and I haven't watched the film yet, but I'm sure I'll love the film. And I played uh, a murderer in it, and it was really, really fun to do. And I have to say, I had a cold during the filming, so my voice, I haven't seen the film yet, but my voice is going to sound really, really rough, but I think it fits the character. I hope it fits the character because I mean, I was sick. So
yeah. Well, I think it's gonna work out. And I gotta say another thing I loved was martial arts. I've seen some of the stuff you've done, that you show little demos on, social media, and you're actually pretty good. So how did you start when did you start martial arts training?
I think when I was getting ready to do Nemesis 5, it's like I'm a very obsessive person. So
Yeah.
I don't I mean, I train for every film that I do. And I knew I was going to have a fight scene. So I started taking Tang Sudo. So I've taken it for maybe 6 years now, and I'm not good. I'm still a white belt because I don't test, because I'm in a class with black belts, and so I'm afraid to spar with them. But I know all the katas, and I love it. And also, I have to say that there's this legendary Taekwondo teacher in San Francisco named Rick St. Clair. He's my Quan Jang Nim. He's Quan Jang Nim, Grandmaster Rick St. Clair. And he's having a special day at the Martial Arts Museum on Saturday. And
Oh
Cynthia
wow.
Rothrock is going to be there, and I'm going to be there to help celebrate his day because he's
Oh, that's
teaching
awesome.
show staff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was actually in the honor roll of the Martial Arts Museum in 2013.
You were?
Yeah, because at the time I was writing for a major martial arts website called kungfucinema.com, and I was focusing a lot on American martial arts films because I grew up watching those as a kid. So it's like I grew up
Oh,
in that whole era. So I remember being in the honor roll of 2013 from the museum, and I was like so stoked about it. And it was Art Camacho who did it because apparently I created the first website about him. So at least that's what he told me at the time. So it's like, wow.
Congratulations. I mean, that's great. You know, I know who Art Camacho is, but I've never worked with him. I want to, you know, because I know he's doing really big movies now.
Yeah, he just did a Western last year, Gunfight at Rio Bravo. And
Yeah, because I follow him. It looks
yeah,
great. And I love Westerns too.
yeah, it's good. And I actually interviewed the director of that film, Joe Cornette, and I'm friends with the star Alexander Nevsky. So it's like,
So
you
do
know,
you still follow Kung Fu movies?
oh yeah. Oh, all the time.
Okay.
I have to watch one at least once a week. I think that's my weekend viewing. Like I have to watch something with martial arts or kung fu. It's my dad's fault. He got me hooked on it.
So
He
do
got me
you
hooked.
take martial arts?
I used to. I dabbled a bit in Shotokan and Taekwondo, but it's been a while. So I'm kind of a white belt too, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but that does, well, I'm not good, but I'm sure you're good.
Yeah, I can work on my flexibility. Well, other than that, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Okay.
I think.
Well, actually, that's a lead into another film that I'm going to be doing. I'm really excited to be working with director Shannon Lanier.
Mhm.
I'm going to be doing a comedy series called Fluff Inc. And my character is an ex-porn star named Pamela. Okay, so I, I haven't seen a script yet, but Shannon is just such a great director. I said yes when he called me, and this was a couple of weeks ago. But Shannon is also directing Black Creek that's starring Cynthia Rothrock, and they've raised
Oh,
like $100,000 on I think it's Indiegogo. So that's going to be a huge Western. And I begged him for a role in it. So we'll see. I told him I have this wonderful costume, Wild West costume. I got two of them. You know, I mean, it's like I'm not shy when I want a role.
yeah. Now I think about it, Cynthia is actually going to be in the sequel to Gunfight at Rio Bravo, taken from Rio Bravo. They shot it a few months after the first film. And if I remember
Oh,
right, she's going to be in that film as well as Don the Dragon Wilson. So they're both going to be in that in the sequel, taken from Rio Bravo.
oh, okay. Well, she is so nice. I have met her, and she, well, obviously she's a legend in the martial arts world.
Yeah,
Um, and she's a great actress, but she's just really nice too. And she's really close to my Quan Jang Nim, Grandmaster Rick St. Clair. So they are going to be revealing a huge secret on Saturday that I can't say anything about.
okay. Well, yeah, we'll keep it hush hush for now.
Okay, but it's huge. They're really, really good friends, and they're going to be partners in something soon.
Yeah, I've talked with Don the Dragon Wilson a few times when I had Facebook. Awesome guy, because it was actually around the time the martial arts kid came out, because I saw a screening of it in Orlando, Florida, and I'm actually on the DVD of the movie. So if anyone's able to catch me, they took a big group photo at the Orlando screening, and you can see the back of me. I'm doing a little fight pose in it with like the people who were there, along with the film's director, Michael Baumgartner. So
Okay, well, what's the name of the film again?
the martial arts kid.
Oh, oh, I follow that too. I mean, everybody big was in it.
Yeah, it's
Must be great. I'm gonna watch it.
yeah, it's streaming on Tubi right now, because I actually watched it yesterday, and sadly we lost the actor himself who played the martial arts kid, Jansen Panettiere. He died over the weekend. We found out.
Oh,
So they don't know what happened, but his sister is Hayden Panettiere, the A-list actor, and but when it was announced, I was really like in shock, and I'm just said, my condolences go out to the Panettiere family. But I gotta say, Jansen Panettiere was really good in the martial arts kid, and
oh,
he was a wonderful actor in that film.
yeah. I mean, I mean, it was all over the press. So, but I didn't know. I mean, I know who Hayden Panettiere is, but because she was married to the mayor of Kiev a while
Yeah,
back, which is incredible because he's a hero.
Yeah.
But I'm so sorry for the family.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope everyone will watch the film.
So as you were getting hit by the acting bug, like aside from coaching acting, who were some of your influences in acting? Like what movies did you enjoy watching as you were getting bit by the acting bug?
Um, well, I was when I was in the Vermont Friends and Artists Theater Company on Vermont. Destin Wynn was in my acting class,
Oh
and
wow.
he was in 21 Jump Street, the
Yeah.
series with Johnny Depp. And so he was a big influence because he was a star who is in our theater company.
Mhm.
So, and he was also good at martial arts and um, just a great actor. So I would watch him in class. Um, I don't know if I really modeled myself after anyone in those days because I was going to school. So I didn't really have, I'm obviously not as adept at films as you. I haven't seen a lot of them. Um, but I did learn a lot in theater. I mean, I played, well, this is a story. I can't sing. And I tried out for Linda Lowe in a flower drum song because I can dance. So anyway, there is this woman who was a better singer and dancer than me, and she got Linda Lowe. So they cast me as Mei Lee. And
Oh
Mei
wow.
Lee has two incredibly hard solos. In Flower Drum Song, the theater version. So I took singing lessons, obviously, but I was still not good. But I learned so much from being on stage and trying to sing, but also I just learned so much from having to cry on stage every night. To me, that was a big breakthrough because um, I had I realized what would make me cry. And so now, I can cry whenever I want to, but it's because, well, I used my dad's death. And then uh, my daughter, my daughter is a psychiatrist at UCLA, and she went to Albany Medical College. And she had a friend named Stephanie Van Dyke. Stephanie was an incredible person, and she started the NGA Health Clinic in Uganda to help the people in Uganda. And she was just so giving and just, I mean, everybody looked up to her. And she, her company forced her to take a day off because she loved work. So she went sledding with her fiance up in Washington. I think it was Yakima, Washington. And she got hit by a car on the sled and she died.
Oh man.
And this was 10 years ago, but that's still, I mean, I want everyone to know her story. I used to write press releases for NGA because my daughter used to go over to Uganda and help with that. And, so those are the things that I use when I need to cry, but they're feelings that I really have.
Yeah, and that just shows like that emotional range you have as an actress. When you play someone with like that character, like for instance, Paradise Motel, you were this abused housewife, and you could definitely see that emotion when, your husband is like verbally, nasty towards you, I was like, I wanted to like reach in and grab him from the screen at one point.
Well, that was Walter.
Yeah,
he was the director. So yeah, he was I really love that movie, and um I'm hoping that Next Stop Hell's End is going to be even better, and I hope Tom recovers.
that's awesome. So, looks like you got some other projects in the works that you were just talking about, and you know, I'm hoping, I hope you continue success because like I said, I think at this point you're one of my favorite actresses now at this point because
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you know, your reviews, I think maybe since you've seen my career progress, the last 2 or 3 years, I decided, I started out in Blade Runner, the first one. So I started out on films with really huge productions. And my goal is to get back there.
Mhm.
And luckily, my agent, Diana Carter, handles Daniel Baldwin. So I'm really lucky to be in a comedy series called Recipes for Love. That hasn't come out yet. Um, I'm going to be playing. She wants to show people that I'm not a scream queen because I love comedy. I mean, I love all genres, but I'm going to be playing the goddess Athena in her production Deuce in Thailand this year. So I'm
Wow.
really excited about that. Um, I'm going to be playing Professor Alexa in her film Vampire. And then I'm going to be playing the mortician in Harry Karapolidis's The Hayride, which Diana is producing. And I'm really grateful to Diana for what she's done for my career and for having me reach higher than I was. And I'm also the godson to her so handsome and talented son, Toby Carter, my godson. Um, and then I also have a great manager named Joseph Williamson. He's Dustin Ferguson's manager. I introduced.
Yeah, it was actually, I will say, Joe was the one who sent me the DVDs of Rattlers too. Some of those films like Tales from the Campfire. So I'm thanking Joe if he hears this. Joe, thank you. I really appreciate that you sent me this stuff, and I love watching these movies. I love these creature feature tape. I grew up with so many genres, it's ridiculous.
Destin has really, um, if you followed me, you followed Destin too, and he has really progressed. He's working with stars now. He has a contract with a film company, and I was so happy to work with him on Cobra Strike Force, and I'm going to ask Joe to send that to you
Oh,
because
awesome.
it's a role I'm really proud of. Even though I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I just really love the role. But I also played Lori Myers in Destin's Quakesaurus, which hasn't come out yet, but I played Butch Patrick's wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's
I
huge.
can't wait for that. I had a small part in that, but it was fun, and I think you'll like it because it's a creature. It's a different creature film. So um, I know that my character in it is comedic.
Yeah.
So, well, it's kind of comedic. I mean, I'm not going to give away. Oh, well, anyway, I'll have Joe send that to you too. Um, uh, oh, and one thing I want to talk about I'm also going to be playing Ambrosia in Jimmy Drain's Dick Reno Monster Slayer,
Oh,
which with
that's
Eric
that's a great
Roberts.
title. That alone is a great title.
I know. I think it's going to be kind of a comedy action drama, but it's going to have. I have scenes with Eric Roberts, but it also stars Richard Tyson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that one. And Joe also handles Jimmy Drain. So when that comes out, I'll tell Joe to send that to you too. Well, Joe loves you,
All right.
obviously. So he's just going to send you everything. Um, but my latest film, I just got back from a week in Las Vegas, and it's been on my bucket list to work with the Mahal brothers, Michael Mahal and Sonny Mahal.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
I was supposed to be in their film Camp Pleasant Lake, and I was supposed to play Greg Kelly's wife in that. And I had a disaster in North Carolina. So many stories. But anyway, I got COVID on this set, and
Oh man.
right before I was supposed to shoot. So then they put me into Alien Storm, which is written and directed by Adam Worth, and Michael Sue is the cinematographer.
Oh
And
yeah. I know
both,
Michael, so yeah.
well, I've wanted to work with all of those people for so long, and I never have. So this was really a dream come true. I mean, I have a smaller role in it, but I did my best to make it bigger.
Oh wow.
And I'm really proud of myself because these people didn't, all of the people didn't know who I was. For some reason, so I felt like I had to prove myself on the set because they were just so, I mean, it stars Tom Arnold and Kevin Sorbo.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I have to say that I worked so hard to be good in it. And they added a scene at the end, and Michael told me I did a really good job. So to me, that made me feel really good. And I can't wait to see the film. And I also got a new manager from it. His name is Tony DeGuide, and he's a longtime great actor, and he's going to put me in his Western. So, I mean, it was a wonderful
You got it
experience.
made. You've got it made at this point.
Well, I have Diana, I have Joe, I have Tony now, and then I also just signed with a manager named Doug Leto, who is an ex-Navy fighter pilot, and with the Jaeger Campbell Talent Company through him with Rosalind Rosa. I just signed with them, so I haven't done anything for them. But I mean, I'm really well represented now. So,
Yeah.
and I remember that when I couldn't get an agent, when I first came, boy, I think I told you that I left acting and I was in technology for 10 years. I was vice president of marketing. And then my husband knew that I loved acting so much that he told me to go back about 10 years ago. So I've been building up my career again since then. Um, and when I first went back, I mean, I couldn't find an agent, even though I had done tons of films.
Yeah.
I think at the time I was told, and it's still true, that the film industry has tons of parts for 18-year-olds, which is why it was probably so easy for me to get roles in my younger days. I mean, I was Cleo the snake dancer on Magnum PI. I mean, I was Miss Hawaii and a lot of stuff. So I've never taken it for granted. I will say that IMDb has me as older than I am, but I am old, and I never expected to have this success at my age. And I'm very, very grateful to everyone who gives me roles, and to God, and to my husband who supports me for my success now, because I didn't expect it.
Yeah, well, here you are. And we gotta talk about one more project because this was one of my favorites that you did. We gotta talk about you as the vampire princess in Down and Out in Vampire Hills. That had
Well,
to be one of the funniest short films I've seen in a long time. I mean, you just like you trying to get a job in the modern world, even though living as a vampire is and all this chaos happens. I mean, it's like you had the worst, your character had the worst luck imaginable, and it was so funnily done.
yeah, well, Ken May's really funny too. I mean, that film, I have to say, has won about 90 awards now. Um,
Wow.
and it started as a labor of love because of the pandemic. My best friend is Dr. Rena Wolsinger, and she's the CTO of a worldwide virtual reality company. And she was also the producer of my show on Ion Entertainment, but we're both too busy to do that show now. So um, she introduced me to Craig Railsback, who also lives in Huntington Beach. Rena lives 2 streets over from me. Um, and Craig Railsback lives in Huntington Beach too. And he's an American Airlines pilot, but his uncle is Steve Railsback.
Oh,
He's
wow.
got a production company with Steve, and he's he's trained in film, and he's an incredible director. And then Rena's sister is Dr. Heather Joseph Witham, and she's a vampire expert, and she's a professor. And so she wrote the script. It's won a bunch of Best Original Script awards. Um, Rena is also uh, one of the contributors to Jay-Z's West Coast studio. I mean, she helped build the audio portion, and she's also on the Grammy board. So she and her husband did all of the original music for the film, and they've won a bunch of Best Original Score awards. And then Craig came on to direct, and he also directed my Lady Macbeth monologue, which has won a bunch of awards. And he also directed Fireside Classics, which had me doing Hamlet. And it was Tony Mardone thought of it for his film, The Witches of the Sands. And I thank him so much for that. But Craig also did Fireside Classics. So we had worked together before. And but it was a labor of love. We had like, I don't know if I should say this, but we had almost no budget. And so we did it on weekends when I wasn't doing a film, and when uh, Rena, well, she has the weekends off, and when Craig wasn't flying. And then I have such wonderful friends. Um, it stars Ken May, Lejean, Bill Housekeeper, who's also with Diana Carter, um, Debbie Dutch, who's my good friend and who is a genuine scream queen. Um, all of these people came on board, and they're obviously professionals and great actors. So we were really, really lucky with this film. And it's going to be shown on March 1st at the Hollywood Golden Reel, no, the Hollywood Reel Independent Film Festival at the LA Live Regal at 5 o'clock. And it didn't win, but that film festival is by the Staples Center.
Mhm.
So the films that won are like A-list films. I can't believe that we got accepted, but I'm so grateful. And
That's amazing to hear. That is absolutely amazing to hear.
I mean, I'm gonna go with my friend Dan Kennedy, and he's gonna take pictures on the red carpet, and we're all going to try. It's our Los Angeles premiere. We did have a premiere at the Culver City Film Festival for Culver City, but this is going to be our big LA premiere. So I'm really, really excited about that.
That's awesome. Oh, wow. It's safe to say you are the comeback queen. Because
Well, I think
I think you
so
are.
because
You took, yeah, because you took all these years off, and then you just came back stronger than ever. That's how I feel. Like after going through so much, but in the early days, you took some time off, they reflected, and now here you are. And look at this career you've done. Look what you've done for yourself since then. It's just like, wow. I mean,
well,
you're just proof that anyone can make their dreams come true. You're just living proof that anyone can make their dreams come true.
yeah, it's true. You just have to stay positive, because one thing I learned, I took an acting class at UC Berkeley. and I was assigned the book, The Power of Winning, or um, something about winning. And it showed me that you need to stay positive and hang around positive people, because um, the positive ions go into the atmosphere and there's room for success for all of us.
Mhm.
So there's no reason to be jealous or envy anyone else. Just work harder yourself and you can achieve whatever you want to. And I've taught my daughters that. One of my daughters was the top salesperson at Sanofi Aventis, and then my other daughter is a psychiatrist at UCLA. I mean, they always believed, well, and also having um, Tak Fujimoto as my uncle.
Mhm.
And um, there's a street corner in Sawtell, Japantown, named after my other uncle, Dr. Jack Fujimoto, because he was such a big influence on the Japanese community. He won an award of the Rising Sun from Japan for his works, for the Japanese community. And he died in December, which was really sad for my family. But
Yeah,
they named this corner in Sawtell after him, and I'm really proud of that.
that's amazing. I mean, wow, you just you just belting them out, and it's just like so great. With and it's mind blowing that we got to talk about everything today, because like I said, I followed you for a couple of years. We kept in touch, and here we are now. We've got this chat out, and I just feel like I know you a lot better now after today, and it's just amazing to get to know you
Well,
more.
I'm so glad you're doing this because you're great at it. You're the best film reviewer in the world, and I watch your awards. I think you've been doing them for the last
Yeah, I think I started when the pandemic hit, 2020. I think that's when.
yeah, so I've watched all of your awards, and um I mean, you've grown along with me.
I did. I mean, like just the other, like a while back, I spoke with a South African actor, and he was telling me, he actually told me, you've gotten so much more comfortable doing your interviews now. I'm like, back when I started doing interviews, I would be nervous. I'd be like, oh, what, shaking. Now it's just like, I'm just like, all right, I'm at the point where it's 7 years later. I'm just going with the flow at this point. So it's just
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean, you're great. You ask the right questions and you let your guests talk. You know,
yeah,
that's
yeah, exactly. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to just say, I want them to be comfortable when they're talking about the projects they're working on. I don't want them to feel like it's, you're on TV and you just like stop the person like in the middle. Like, no, just go with it. Get what you gotta say.
well, when I was doing Ion Entertainment, I tried to talk as little as possible and let the people talk about the projects that they have because they're on there to promote. Um, and so I was really comfortable interviewing because I did it for 17 years. In fact, I still do it for the projects I want to promote. But if someone wants to be interviewed, I'd love to interview you someday if I could get Rena to do it on a weekend. And if you want me to, because I mean, you've done so many things. I'd love to know about you. So, and Rena was I don't know if I mentioned this, but she was my Final Cut Pro professor at Golden West College. That's where I met her. So she is just she's such a talent, and she would edit together a fantastic reel for you. So we'll have
Awesome.
to do that in the future. But um so I was comfortable interviewing, and if anyone wants to see my interviews, they're on YouTube under Ion Entertainment. But being interviewed scared me to death. Um, and I mean, I was a nervous wreck. Like even today, I came on early because
Yeah.
because I was nervous. Um, but once I saw you, we're old friends, so this has been fun.
Yeah, it has been. And I was like, oh yeah, I thought that like she's on early. All right, well let me just get the last one I gotta get done, and then boom, we'll just get started. And Yeah, it just made it. I just felt like so comfortable right off the bat, even before we started recording. It just felt like I was seeing a friend of an old friend again. That's how I felt.
Well, we are old friends, and I hope that you'll. I'm really trying to do well after. Well, you know that I've done like over 200 films now, and I've won like almost 380 awards.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm really trying to do good projects now, and I'm hoping the next film that you see me in will be even better than all of those. I'm still waiting to show my uncle any of my films. I mean, my mom and my husband are my biggest supporters, but when you have a legend in your family, you kind of keep things low key until you know that. Well, I mean, he did 16 candles and
Yeah.
6 cents. I mean, I want to do something that will impress him. I guess
Well,
that's my goal.
with that said, I'm gonna make an announcement right now that Dawna, you are the third inductee into the World Film Geek Hall of Fame this year. You're joining Diane Franklin and Mark Patton in this year's Hall of Fame.
What is a legend? Thank you
Yeah,
so much, Albert.
you've earned it. You've totally earned it. I thought long and hard about this, and when I said this, I'm going to be interviewing Dawna. I said to myself, "All right, I think I'm going to drop the bomb, and I'm going to tell her she's going to be in the Hall of Fame this year." So
We got
yes, you
Well, you know that I was a publicist in the tech industry. I'm going to put out a press release about this as soon as you give me the details. Oh, I'm so honored and thank you so much. I mean, I've just been honored that you've watched my films, but this means so much to me. I mean,
yeah,
you are the best. I love you. I can't believe it.
you earned it. I mean, I got this year's Diane Frank. So far, it's Diane Franklin because I was a huge fan of her growing up. I watched her in so many '80s films, and now and I actually talked to her a few years back for the Amityville Murders, and she was so funny. She did. We had such a fun interview. Like she even played her character from Better Off Dead for part of the interview. That's how funny it was. And then, as Mark Patton is now making a comeback.
Yeah, yeah.
He just
He was
came out
in Dustin's film. I forgot the name of it now. They changed the
and
film.
he just came out with a new film called Swallowed that just came out last week. So, and he was phenomenal. He's like the villain of this film, and he's just phenomenal in it. So, I saw his documentary about Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I gave best documentary, I think the first World Film Geek Awards. And I think he's earned his place. And I'm
Yeah,
hoping he's
it's so
doing well.
sad what he went through. I mean, I
Yeah.
did an interview with him on the set, nothing like your interview. It's a small, and I was sick, so I didn't appear on camera. He just talked, but he mentioned everything he had to go through,
Yeah, that was
during
tough.
days. And it's just so sad. And
Yeah.
he's a great actor and he's so nice.
Yeah, and I talked to the director of Swallowed. He said this is the first time Mark Patton ever felt so comfortable on the set that he didn't have to wear any of that armor. He just played himself as the villain, and he's just so great in it. I mean, I think this might be one of the best films of the year, and if people do not see this, they're out of their minds.
Okay, well, where can you see it?
I think it's in theaters, but I think it's also on demand. And no, it's on demand and digital right now, so you can actually get it any platform that you can get on demand or digital. So it's called Swallowed. It's like a body horror film, and
Okay, I'll watch it then.
yeah, it's really good. I think you're still in shock that you're in the Hall of Fame. 'Cause
Well, yeah, I feel like I have so much more to accomplish, but I hope the Mahal brothers see this and put me
they
in
probably
another
will.
film. Yeah, no, I mean, when this comes out, well, you know me, I'm gonna blast it everywhere and I'm gonna
Yeah,
put it in the press release or in the story. I'm actually probably going to send it to my good friend Michael Joy, who he gets it out to all of the press.
yeah, you've earned it. I mean, I'm just excited to say that you're in the Hall of Fame because I feel like you've earned your place, and you're one of the best indie film actresses out there, in my opinion. So that's just why I think you earned it.
Oh my gosh, this is such an honor. I can't thank you enough. I mean well, I didn't even dare to dream about this, but now it's on my bucket list and it's something that I've gotten. I'm so happy. Thank you.
You are absolutely welcome. I mean, guys, if you have not seen Dawna in any films yet, try to find any movie with her, and I guarantee you're gonna love. Doesn't matter how small the role, she's just a great actress, and she rightfully earned her place in this year's Hall of Fame. So I'm really excited to be inducting her.
I I'm just very honored and grateful and thank you so much. And I am going to make sure that everyone sees this interview.
I hope so too.
No,
So
I am, especially since you're not on Facebook, and I don't know why you're not, but
yeah. Well, I was, but things go with Facebook. Sometimes a lot of crazy stuff happens. So it's like, oh,
yes.
I'm gonna shy away from that.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll show it for you.
Yeah, that's all good. But I have the YouTube channel, so this will be up on YouTube within the week. So that's pretty cool. And this will be this is part of our Ladies of Film interview series for Women's History Month. So what better timing? And yeah, so for everyone, check out worldfilmgeek.com. We got reviews, interviews, trailers, tributes, stuff like that. Dawna, I can't thank you enough again for taking your time to talk about this. I had such a blast talking with you.
Oh, well, I've looked forward to this ever since you mentioned it. And I mean, you're one of my best friends.
That's glad to
I'm
hear it. I'm all the way on the other
grateful.
side of I'm on the other side of the country too.
I know, but I mean, it's like I don't even